D. It's me 5 at the door. Alright. Alright, you're good. You go inside. Good morning. I have the wonderful Maude from a band. Now, because there's no space, I want to say it fast. Like it's Splitjaw. Like it's got like a Transformers name vibe to me.
Yes,
it's so
totally.
good. I got to hear some music that y'all are gonna release shortly, and it's so good. I probably should listen to my car.
I think it comes out today, so we could talk about.
Oh, fuck yes!
Music,
Okay,
yeah.
hell yes. Okay, so like I said, I was driving and I put it on, and I wanted to crash my car. Like I just wanted to floor it and just honestly end it. I was good. Like I was feeling it. Like that was so good. It's so heavy and thick, and y'all's voice is so I don't know. There's just something about it. It reminds me of what if the guitarist from Deafheaven was from Nashville? Like it's got there's a little bit of blues scale stuff in there, and
Totally.
But it's just y'all are crazy.
Thank you. Our guitar players are both big prog metal guys.
Sure.
Yeah, like Dean is very in the periphery. And Nico, the other guitar player, is a very big death metal and thrash head. So that's where a lot of that technical guitar playing stuff comes from, and I'm a huge fan. I think that they do great.
So tell us about the inception of the whole thing. How did this all come about?
For sure. Dean and I have been in a bunch of other bands together. Dean is the guitar player, and he also writes all of the instrumental music. So we've been playing together for almost a decade at this point. We were in some emo bands and stuff together. We were in a skate punk band in high school called Bad Jokes.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
And so initially when we met, we were talking about doing something heavier, more hardcore, post-hardcore, metalcore adjacent kind of thing. And that was in 2015. So it's kind of crazy that it's taken this long, but now we're finally doing the band that we set out to do. And we first met each other forever ago. So.
It's y'all had to take the step. You're y'all are playing chess. It's you're 6 moves ahead that's where we'll be.
Exactly.
So y'all knew exactly what to do to get there, and it's paid off. I think it's incredible.
Thank you so much. I'm extremely happy and proud of it and everything. Got to give props to Aki and James from Newhouse, who mixed and mastered it, because it sounds fucking incredible.
Yeah, it really does. This is from that background, it just listening to it just sounds so professional. And I think this is gonna blow the fuck up. Now, y'all are in Chicago.
Yes.
Where in Chicago are y'all at?
So I'm in Albany Park, northwest side.
Cool.
But we're me, Dean, and Nico are all from the burbs, Wheaton, Glen Ellen area.
Mm-hmm.
So 40 minutes outside the city-ish. And then Scumdrop, our bass player, is from Iowa originally, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then our drummer Jay, who is actually in the band Lionheart as well, is initially from the Bay Area, and then moved out here. And we didn't even meet him through any kind of music related stuff. He plays Warhammer 40K with Dean's roommate.
Let's fucking go. That's so sick.
I know, crazy coincidence that we found him that way, but he's probably the best drummer I've ever played with. There's not a lot of people who can play double kick that well. We are extremely lucky.
I really like the lore concept of there's always in the heist movie, there's always like this moment where you have to like, oh, we need this guy, we need this guy, and like their introduction is in like a weird place. So like the concept of like the meeting of like this guy, this homie, at like a TTRPG place, like, and
Yeah.
like she's just surrounded by all these minis that he's painted, and they're perfect and wonderful, and he's like in the zone, and they're like, hey, do you want to drum? And he's like, excuse me. Yes, absolutely. I want to drum. It's just great. I just love
Yes.
the big lore stuff. That's so much fun. Do y'all like do TTRPG stuff like as a band or like individual?
Like not really at all. He's the
Really?
only one. Yeah, he's the only one of us who's into that. And
Oh
then
my God.
Dean's roommate. So Dean is roommates with Nico, our other guitar player, and
Okay,
then they have
cool.
another roommate, and that's who was friends with Jay
Yeah, that's
initially. And
Chicago.
yeah, and we literally found out that he was a drummer just because like I was over the same night as he was one night, and they were like in between games, and he was like, I'm smoking a joint. You guys want to join me?" And we were like, "Yeah, absolutely." So
Yeah,
we were just like
sure.
hanging out, smoking weed, like talking about music and stuff, and he was like talking about Lionheart and going on tour, and like they're really big in Europe, so he's got a lot of fun stories about going over
Oh,
there, and like
crazy.
yeah, every other month or so we got to take like 2 or 3 weeks off because Jay's got to go to Europe.
That's crazy. Is homie a full-time drummer, or is he like,
Yeah.
okay, that's crazy. That's
He's
cool.
got like a part-time job here right now, at like Whole Foods, I think. But
Yeah, sure.
like,
Something that he can go in and
yeah,
out of.
exactly. But yeah, he spends a lot of time playing the drums.
So what would you guys say? What would y'all say is like bands that were the catalyst that like kind of made y'all want to like do this sound?
Sure. See You Space Cowboy is a huge one.
For
Um,
sure. Yes.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
incredible band. Obviously, like I feel some solidarity with Connie, like both of us being trans women and everything. Like,
Hmm.
uh, I I don't think that either of us are necessarily like I don't know, like I don't have any problem like talking about it, but like I don't feel like either of us are necessarily like I need to stick my neck out for the trans community, and I think that that's like perfectly fine. I feel like just us
Yeah.
existing is like enough, you know what I mean? And so like I really relate to her perspective on like that sort of thing, and I think that the band is fucking killer. And then Dying Wish is another huge one.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously like another like female led band that's just fucking rips. Like they're incredible. And then I would say like Knocked Loose is a huge one for me personally.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Um,
What about Knocked
yeah.
Loose?
I am not as huge into the like kind of like rougher, growlier type tough guy hardcore kind of thing.
Sure.
And so I'm really into Knocked Loose and the way that they incorporate a lot of like new metal and metalcore like tendencies, but they're still very much like a hardcore band. And also like I like the kind of like shouty or yelpier kind of delivery that Brian has.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. There's something about okay, I think that there is a time and place for like Bury Your Dead. And
Yeah.
like this kind of more, I don't know, it's like bro hardcore.
Yeah.
It's like it's like fratty weird bro hardcore. And yeah, it does have its place. I think it's a lot funnier to listen to that
Yeah.
stuff where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm gonna on a way to this party, I just ripped a J and I want to listen to some Bury Your Dead, dude. Like I'm gonna listen, like I would
Or like
totally
All
do.
Year of the Knife. Like
Yeah, dude, like I would totally listen to like that shit. I mean, even parts of like Speed feel the same way. Like it's
yeah.
just it's where it's like it's not a joke, but it's like this is a lot more fun. And but like listening to
Yeah.
Knock Loose, I'm just like I'm there for like musicality and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like there's it's just so different. Something about Brian's voice that is just like I think first of all, I don't know how the homie does it. That like to scream like that the whole time. That's so fucked up. But it is he probably spawned like a whole vocal style.
Yes,
1,000,000%.
absolutely. And I've
Like,
noticed that too. Like we take after that a lot. Like I definitely take a lot of inspiration from that like kind of vocal technique.
mhm.
And I also like that a lot though because I feel like it's kind of similar to singing in that like everyone has like a very distinct kind of delivery when it comes to that kind of screaming, and you can like pick people's voices apart a lot more easily. Like even like Under Oath kind of did stuff like that, and then you have like
Sure.
Four in Hands now as well, where like it's a just kind of like a yelpier delivery where you hear more of the speaking voice in it.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that there's two things. One, I think that when you're doing the bro frat screaming thing, I think there's not really a worry about key
yeah,
when you're screaming that low, you're hitting such a wide frequency range that it kind of works no matter what the
yeah,
fuck you're saying and where you're saying it at. I never thought I would have said where you're saying something as an explanation for screaming. But like when you're in the higher register, it's you have to be more on key, or it's going to kind of sound like it kind of sounds
yeah,
like shit if you're like kind of not in that range.
yeah.
So it's there's been kind of when I was growing up, when I was hearing again, that bro frat hardcore stuff, I always thought that there was like not necessarily a lack of musicality to it, but it made me feel like, anyone could be angry and have rhythm and scream something into a mic. Where
Right.
now Brian is like, hey, this is way more technical. This is
Hmm.
way, I think it's way more interesting. And you are now more of an instrument now than like just the uh saying poems on screaming poems on stage, man. Like that's how
Totally,
it feels
totally.
like. Where now it's like you have to worry about key, you have to worry about the performance, you have to worry about like actually your voice. And
Hmm.
uh so when it comes to like y'all been playing, and because I know y'all are before anyone while you guys are listening to this, y'all are friends with one of my best friends, 10 Month Summer.
Yes,
Y'all
adore
share
10
a
Months
band
Summer.
member. Scumdrop is like the homie.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
what was it like the last starting in playing shows? What was it like booking it in Chicago? Is it easy? Like, do you find that the Chicago music scene is still like the best in the fucking nation? Because I still kind of believe that. Like, it's so sick.
We have a lot of like amazing talent here, and I feel very lucky to be from here because it feels very accessible still though.
Hmm.
Um, like uh it wasn't hard for us to get our first show. Like we've only played two so far. Um, which our first one was with the band called Week Long Weekend from Minnesota, and
Hmm.
they had initially asked my solo project to play, and I was like, "Can my hardcore band do it instead?" And they
Yeah.
were like, "Yeah, totally." So that ended up working out really well, and we got to headline our first show, and there was like a really cool crowd there. We did it at Fallen Log, so it was pretty easy to pack the room. But
Awesome.
like either way, like those shows feel so much fun when it's like everyone's packed in and it's real intimate and you can get in people's face and shit.
I love a small fucking place, man. Like
Yeah.
I recently just saw my first like arena show. I saw Post Malone. Uh, Ridiculous. It was awesome, but I am just not. When I went to Riot Fest like 10 fucking years ago, or like
Yeah.
8 years ago, and I saw like Take It Back Sunday and the Used, all these people for like the first time, and I don't like that setting. I don't like this big fest setting. I
Yeah.
like a intimate small fucking thing. Like no one wants to see uh like when I saw Modern Baseball, I got to see them like at Broken Bottle and a
Hmm.
couple of other places, and that's the only way I want to see good bands, like as
Yeah.
like these small fucking places. So for your first show to feel like a packed room, there's nothing more confident than y'all
Oh
feel
yeah.
probably right now that you're like, hell yes, dude. Show one, y'all got to do that. That's so sick.
It was incredible. And show two, we got to open for Missouri Executive Order 44, who's a fucking wild band. And like we got to chat with them and hang out, and like they were super. I don't want to like blow their fucking like character thing that they do, but they are really nice. They are really sweet people.
I love that. So cool. Let's talk about the record. What was it like making this record? What were your kind of, what are the themes here? You know, it's officially out. So like,
Yeah. November
so I kind of
1st.
want to know like, everything. Yeah. So we're recording this a little bit earlier, but when this
Yeah.
releases, we're going to post a song from it, and it'll be actually all of it released that day. So this is actually
Yes.
really, really exciting. So yeah, let's kind of walk through, not like song by song, just like the kind of the vibes that you were when you were writing the whole thing.
Absolutely. A lot of it is based in my frustration with the United States government. I'm a very strong like anti-authoritarian kind of proponent. Like,
Sure.
I think abuse of power is like a huge problem in this country, whether it be in terms of our governing officials or our police institutions or even things like colleges and educational bodies. Like there's a lot of corruption and misuse of power and influence, and
Yeah. There's so
it's
much
very
predatory
frustrating to
shit.
see. Absolutely. Predatory
Mhm.
is a very good word for it. And like I feel like a lot of people get like kind of like tricked or indoctrinated into this like certain line of thinking before they're even really old enough to understand what it is or what it means. And uh a lot of the lyrics on this record are about my kind of frustration with not being able to get through to people about that kind of thing, and
Mhm.
also like equally my frustration that like I understand you know the the process of how they got to thinking that way, and it like sucks. It's like I can feel uh like sympathy for them and understand like how they've been like, I don't want to say brainwashed, but kind of like herded into this like mindset or this mentality of like like really relying on like the Democratic Party and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
but you also come off like the bad guy to those people sometimes because it feels like you're kind of like ripping the rug out from underneath them, or like trying to like fuck up their worldview, or like make them scared when they don't want to be. And it's like, it's not necessarily trying to like fearmonger or scare people, but it's just trying to be like, there are things that we have to worry about because if we don't, then it'll get us when we're not even expecting it. Like we have to
Yeah.
care about the environment, and we have to care about, what the government's doing to trans and queer people, and to black people and to Muslims and to Palestinians, especially obviously in terms of foreign policy, but also how they're, Palestinian Americans are treated here. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on, and I think ignoring it just allows it to get worse.
I think that, I have I've spoken with the only time I've ever gotten a little bit political on this podcast, because I'm pretty there's left leaning, and then there's like what I am like, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like there's like it's I've talked about so many I kind of lean into it a little bit sometimes when I ask some people in when it comes to DIY stuff. Do you find the DIY community to, you know, not necessarily be pro union, but be pro just like left leaning?
Mhm.
And it's always kind of a resounding yes. I think
Yeah,
and it's really funny because I'm not sure why, because technically like I feel like doing stuff yourself is definitely kind of uh it's a little bit kind of a Republican thing, like it's a pull her up or bush ass thing. So I
yeah,
was
or like a
like
libertarian
there's
almost.
yeah, so like I was kind of like worried that there was like this, when I joined this community, I wanted to know kind of how what the fucking vibe check was. And
Sure.
that was my first read, was that I was worried about that. And it was like, no, fine. And I was like, that's so interesting that that could also be like a left leaning thing, because it's like, okay, well, we have to do this stuff ourselves.
Yes.
And
But that's like the key, right? Is that it's not
yeah,
like yourself, it's like ourselves.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. No,
everyone, yeah.
it's not myself, it's ourselves. Like,
Yes.
yeah, like no, it's
Cue
there's
the Bugs Bunny meme
yeah,
with the
exactly.
commie
Like I was
flag.
doing that
Yeah.
with my hands. It's very there's so much fucked up shit. And I think that there is a really and I'm trying to think of like, I guess when it comes to like political band stuff, like I can't think of anything before like punk movement things. Like I can't think of any, like maybe there's some, stuff in the 60s pre-punk, like Woodstock stuff. Like that's kind of music and politics have gone together for a very long time. Not so in the history of music, very little, but in the history of shareable music, where it makes the most sense, that's when politics and music have been like one and the same. It's a circle. I find that using your voice for these kind of things it's praxis. It's good praxis. So do you find, would you say that Splitjaw inherently is a political band?
I feel like we are, yeah. Like just because, well, first of all, I don't want like bigots coming to our shows, you know what I mean? So
sure.
I feel like just which I don't think that should be political, but I think unfortunately, given like the kind of like polarization and like where we're at in America, like if you want to take the stance of like I don't fucking want like transphobes and racists at my show, then there's this cohort of people that are gonna call you political. Yeah. So if that means that I'm political, then I'm political. But also the lyrics are very political.
Yeah. So that's okay. I love it. It's just like it's funny dancing on the coals of that stuff. Where like it's just crazy that you have to deal with that. That's like just to even say that, just the moment where you said, well, hold on, because you knew what the fucking, you knew what it like meant to even say it, and the consequences, and that it's just what a fucking bummer.
And that's what I mean, like when I talk about like the lyrics and like trying to like kind of like I understand where people's headspace is at, even if I don't agree with it. So it's like you kind of have to like know how to like talk the talk and everything, and like so that's why I don't like go out of my way to be like Splitjaw is a political band. Sure, I want to be able to go into spaces that are not inherently political and still preach our message, because I think it's important, and I think that that's the only way that you can like get people who wouldn't be otherwise interested to like hear about it. You know what I mean?
Sure, it's like it is the music first. Y'all made the music first. And then put the lyrics on top. And so it's like, yes, it's a music first, ideas second kind of thing.
For sure.
Which is cool because the music is that good. Like it's, I wish I had the lyrics. I'm one of those people that like hears it. I'm like picking out like a couple words and I'm like, well, it's going to take me 10 more times to pick that one, especially when I'm listening to fucking hardcore and all that stuff. I'm like,
I could send you the rest of them.
I was like, I was like, where's the Bandcamp? Let's see if they got the lyrics up. I'm that motherfucker. So like,
we do have them on the Bandcamp, I think, for the
okay, cool.
All
right, hell yeah. But it's all really exciting. I think that when it comes to your sound, the message, I think it's all fucking so cool. Basically, now that y'all are just trying to, do some new stuff, what is kind of your next year look like to y'all?
Sure. So first EP, like we said, is out today. Our EP release show is December 1st at the Burlington in Chicago. If anyone
Congrats, that's awesome.
Wants to check it out. And then November 19th, also we're playing in Kankakee, doing like a little like DIY show there. And then after that, we don't really have any plans for the rest of the year other than Dean is gonna write the rest of the next EP. And so then hopefully we can get to recording in like February or so.
Okay, cool.
And then, fingers crossed, get the second one out before the end of 2025.
All right. So I have a question. And I think that a lot of people, when I started 95 Corolla, I didn't really know about like amount of shows. And when it comes to like, I just was like, I wanted to play all the time. And do you find that playing less, because after playing this for 3 years, I think playing less per year is way better. Are y'all trying to get on?
Yeah. For our situation, it is good just because we've been very lucky to like garner a lot of hype like right away, mostly because we were like not sheepish about just like doling out the demos to like anyone that wanted to hear it, because we just
Sure.
like
That's
we'd
the
all been
fucking
in.
key, dog. That is the
Yes.
just leak it. Just get in the fucking DMs and press just enter. Just shove it at everybody.
Absolutely.
Everyone wants to hear it anyways. So
I
like
can't remember like who it was that said this exactly, but I remember hearing on like a podcast or an interview a long time ago that like the key to getting your band to like have any kind of success is to be huge amongst your friends first, because those are the people that are going to ride for you the hardest, so that are actually going to show
yes.
your shit to other people. And so like it's important to like have like a circle of like people that really care about you and that you really care about, and there's that like, you know, kind of just like mutual respect and admiration for each other. And like that's why it's so nice to be from Chicago and have people, you know, like 10 Month Summer that I respect so much, and they respect us back in the same way, and we share each other's music, you know, publicly, as well as privately behind the scenes and stuff too, because we value each other's opinion and feedback, and like we want to know what the other person thinks, and like that kind of relationship is really important. And so, you know, ever since I heard that, has to be when I was in like high school. Like I've just always, like I've stuck to that really hard. Like I feel like being involved in your local scene and having people that really give a fuck about you is the best way to have people give a fuck about your art also.
I think it's just there's got to be. I think there someone said, hey, on Twitter, what's the balance between like, you know, shit posting and promotion? Like,
Sure.
and it's for me it's like 80-20, maybe 90-10.
Yeah.
And I think I want to translate that even to shows. Like
Hmm.
I think that you should be going to twice or three times as many shows than you're playing, because
Totally.
I think that I made that fucking mistake, and I feel like next year I want to play so little. Like I
Yeah.
want to play so little. I want to go like bring my camera to shows and just like start doing that. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to 2 a month. Which one am I gonna go to? Like, there's got to be. It just. I think this community is too important to just
Hmm.
play by yourself. Like and just
Absolutely.
like yeah, play shows, but like have it feel a little bit more special
Hmm.
then like, and there's a band named Camden here in Nashville, who I love dearly, that brought that up, was like, hey, I think everyone needs to stop playing so much. And I was just like, I think that's all he said. And I was like, oh, yeah, we are. Everyone is.
Yeah.
And Nashville is really tough with it because it's like everyone is just like kind of rule of numbers, where it's like if you play that
Hmm.
many, then the one person will see you.
Yeah.
And I
Also,
think
every
that's
bar in Nashville has music, so there's no shortage of
there's no
anywhere to
shortage.
play.
So
Like everyone's looking for it all the time.
everyone's looking for it, and everyone. I think that it's opposite here, and I think if we flip it so that everyone plays less, it makes it a little more special. I think that more people will come, because a lot of people you're playing like. When I came and played in Chicago, like that, I packed out fucking book club. Like that was the best feeling of my fucking life,
Yeah,
and that was
absolutely.
crazy. And I played for like 5 to 10 people here in Nashville, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop. I gotta stop. That like it's a supply and demand issue. This is like early economics. Like
Absolutely.
it just everyone needs to chill more and go to shows more, because the community is way more important than you playing. Um,
Totally. I think
so
that there is like
yeah,
there are situations where the opposite's true though. Like I think if this was like all of our first band, playing all the time would be a good idea.
yeah,
But we're all like 10 years deep in this scene, and everyone knows who we are, and like we've been in bands before, and like
yeah.
like because we kind of like had that hype train already, like I feel like it would be weird to play like a show every week. But because we are already we like garnered a lot of hype right away. It's like we have this kind of pressure already to make it feel more special. Um,
Totally.
and then I also noticed like I used to be in Arcadia Gray for like 2 years.
Cool.
Um, And so like right after the pandemic, we were playing like 2 shows a week sometimes, like just in Chicago, because we could, because people were so excited that music was back that it was like, fuck it, say yes to everything because we
That's
want to play really bad.
ridiculous.
Yeah, we want to play really bad and people want to come see live music really bad. And so for like that whole first year after the pandemic ended, it was really easy to just keep playing. But it's kind of like calmed back down and like kind of gone back to the way that it was before.
Yeah, no, I wish like I used to live in Chicago and I think I would have loved post-pandemic Chicago music. I feel like that like everything I've heard about it, it was just like it was kind of a free for all. All these people like
Yeah.
made all these weirdo new records and over the pandemic and like okay, we're all going to start playing all this weird shit that we wrote when we
Yes.
were stuck in our fucking houses. And
There
I
were a
kind of
lot of
like
bands that like I don't say this to be mean or anything, but there were a lot of bands pre-pandemic in Chicago that had been around for God bless them a little too long. And
that's
the
so
pande-
funny, dog.
the pandemic happened and they're all like, all right, time to like focus on my real job and my family. And like as a result, there's been a lot of like younger, newer talent that has kind of like joined the fold since then. And like there are bands that I am sad to see them go, and I think they deserved more success. And I wish that they had like more fruitful careers and stuff. But at the same time, it's like there's so many like newer, younger bands like fucking like Lavender Point and Antillion that are like
Oh,
so incredible.
I did an episode with them a couple weeks ago, and I can't wait to release their little thing. That
Yeah,
what an incredible band!
so
Like I
good.
love them. They're so talented, and it's just like I've talked to them so much about like just like music theory. I was like, y'all are theory motherfuckers, or y'all are just insane.
Yeah.
There's just Chicago. There's as much as I love Nashville, and I'm never going to leave Nashville because Nashville is like the weirdest like place when it comes to music. I just
Yeah.
loved Chicago. I loved Chicago music so much. And I,
Everyone's so excited to be from here that's from here. And you see it like in the bands
yeah,
that are from here too. They all like have songs about Chicago. Like they
dude,
talk about it all the
dude,
time.
I have a song about Chicago. Like, and like, no thanks, LOL is about Chicago. When I moved there, when I from Iowa, like
It's
it
like it's
was.
infectious.
It's
Yeah.
infectious. Also, there's something about the word. Like Chicago doesn't feel like an Italian word. It feels like a medical word, one that exists like in the whole the whole world. Everyone knows what the word Chicago is, and it's just
Totally.
something amazing just about the blood cellness, how you feel when you live there, and
Yeah.
it's tough, but everyone like I mean you as a Malort guy, I love Malort. Like, so it's
Yeah.
fucking like
Hell
the
yeah.
fucking the Chicago-ness that to have Malort also is indicative of like what this music scene is going to be fucking like.
It's in
Like,
my veins, dog.
yeah, dude. Like, I remember going. One of my favorite shows I ever saw was I went and saw. I went to the South Side. My buddy, who's a huge hardcore guy, was like, "I want to take you to like this Mexican hardcore show." And
Nice.
I don't remember any of the bands. All I know is I had one of the best nights of my fucking life, and
Hell
it
yeah.
was one of the coolest. Like, I was, it was just one of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
Do you
Just
remember
seeing
what the
like
space was?
no idea. I am 36. I was 27 when I was there. And so
Gotcha.
this is forever ago. And I felt like it was like I don't know, it was definitely South Side. I don't remember exactly. All I know is
There's
I
a
just had like
spot that's
incredible
been
time.
Yeah, there's a spot that's been open for like forever, and there's like a little half pipe outside.
Oh shit.
And yeah, and they uh it's not like a venue anymore. You have to like rent the space yourself if you want to do a show there, but it's like just like behind a Mexican restaurant. Like there's the Mexican restaurant and you can't see it from the street. So you have to like get in the parking lot and then go around the back and then there it is. And it's
Oh
just
my
like this
god.
tiny ass little building. And like it's in Pilsen, like it's like down in that area. And I know that it's been there for like 8 million years. And so like
That's the
sometimes
best
people
part
will
about
tell
Chicago
stories about
though.
it. Yeah, totally,
Like
totally.
it's just there's so much space to put a bunch of these just there's so many venues. It's like it's gonna be goofy. There's warehouse shit, like there's
Yep.
bitch pork, there's all these weirdo things that happen in Chicago that are
The
like,
legendary Fireside Bull.
yeah, man, like it's a wild, wild, wild time. I love Chicago. I love Chicago dearly.
I was
So,
lucky enough to see Dillinger Escape Plan recently, and
oh, Year the Plan.
Yeah, Year of the Plan, and they were here, and Ben Weinman talked about how he pissed in a hole in the wall at Fireside Bull, and I was like, hell yeah, the coolest story I've ever heard.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, so what do you do for your day job?
Sure. I work for a cancer research company, and I won't say
Based.
where because I don't want to get me or anyone else in trouble.
That's still based, though. That's still cool.
But basically, I don't do anything clinical. I don't have a college degree or anything like
Mhm.
that. But basically, they get all of these samples of like blood or like tumor tissue or saliva, and they run like tests on them, and it's a lot of like drug-based cancer therapy as opposed to chemotherapy. So it's
Mhm.
like a lot of like studies and research into how they can like use drugs in conjunction with or instead of chemotherapy to try and like
Sure.
combat tumor growths and stuff. Um, it's a very cool place to work for sure. I like work in a lab even though I sit at a desk all day and I like have to wear a lab coat and gloves.
Fun. Look, that's
Yeah.
yeah. You get it's like this weird Halloween every day.
Absolutely. Like playing a little character or
Yeah, it's like you're on set. It's like, I play a
yeah.
doctor on TV.
Yeah, but I just do paperwork shit. So like all of these samples they come with like, like patient records and previous test results and things like that. And so I have to scan everything and then label it and archive it into like the digital system so that they're not like constantly handling paperwork like in the laboratory and stuff like that. So my job itself is like kind of boring. But I get to listen to music and podcasts and stuff all day, so it's really not too bad. I just kind of lock in and just go.
Yeah, no, that's fucking awesome. I think that like I always ask everyone where they work because like I know that I'm not interviewing anybody that is doing any of this shit full time. And so
No, no.
I'm always intrigued with like what do they do? How do you support this bad habit that we all
Yeah.
do that costs us time and money just every fucking quarter? But that's so sick. That's one of the cooler ones that I've heard. That you actually are involved, like literally in labs and doing
Yeah.
admin work, but like it's still like, it's still cancer research. That's awesome.
Feels rewarding for
Yeah,
sure. It's like
yeah.
it could be so much worse. And
It's
like
net positive.
I've done all kinds of shit too. Like before this, I worked at the Apple store.
Mhm.
And then before that, I like taught preschool. So I've like done all kinds of shit.
Fuck yeah! All right. Well, I want to
Yeah.
play one of the songs that you sent us. What song
Sure.
would you like everyone to hear?
Go with the title track because that one is just like right away from the beginning, just like ripping.
Here is Dread's Comforting Embrace by Splitjaw. Okay, that was Dread's Comforting Embrace by Splitjaw. Holy shit, y'all. It was so nice to fucking meet you. This is gonna end here in just a second, but I hope you have a fucking killer day.
Thank you so much. You too. It was awesome to chat with you.
Hell yeah. We'll see you soon.
See you soon, man. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.